The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Boys and girls, we got a show for you guys today. Welcome to the Bostonian versus the Book. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault on a Wednesday. Bring your law degree. If you got a cop in the family, you may want to bring them on over. Organized crime, all sorts of investigations going on. The state of Iowa is ablaze at the moment because both football programs are in serious hot water this morning, including the starting damn quarterback for Iowa State. Welcome to the show, everybody, live on Twitter and YouTube. Sports Grid Replay. Dave, some days I make fun of you saying we're going to play cops and robbers. We're playing cops and robbers today. This is nuts. How are you?
I'm good. I'm been fielding calls and texts and talking about some stuff all morning that I did not think that we would be talking about a couple weeks before football season would start. It's really interesting. The lineup is stacked. I feel like we should call it the docket today rather than the rundown because there's so many things. And how is it Iowa? Is this heaven? No, this is Iowa. We got a lot of things going on in Iowa where you spend some time personally living. You know how this fan base and people are, and how could all this happen?
We're going to go story by story, then take kind of a bigger 30,000-foot view of what's going on because the stories, the actual allegations, and the details matter as to what's going on here because some of which are like, wait, what did you do? And why did you do this? But we've got a bingo card you guys can keep track of if you want. It does also involve a Vegas scandal that came out this morning. There were rumors of it. We've heard, we talked about it briefly earlier on the program, but now we have some real details and allegations as to what was going on in a couple of casinos here in town, that the brazen nature of how they were doing this is quite like, really? Like, oh my, okay. Yeah. Like, you really were going for this. So we'll do that. Let's just start with the big headline, and that is the fact that Iowa State starting quarterback Hunter Dekkers has been charged here with being involved with a gambling operation. He's been charged with going ahead and betting on Iowa State sports, including Iowa State football games. I mean, let's talk about this how we normally talk about this first, just from a book perspective.
Yep.
If you're the book, Dave, do you pull everything off the table today for Iowa State?
I was on last night with the guys and Carver and Lisa, and they asked me that same question. It was off already. Like the Iowa State stuff was off. Season wins off. If you have an advanced lineup, you take it off. You have to, because I don't know who the backup is. So
he might go down too.
That's the problem.
I mean, where is this going to stop?
Correct.
I mean, as of right now, it's just, it's Hunter Dekkers, but it could be way worse. It could be multiple other players, and it's going to be, the statement on behalf of Hunter Dekkers from a law firm last night. They have since clarified this statement, but this is not good. Hunter Dekkers denies the criminal charge brought against him. He will plead not guilty to the charge because he is not, in fact, guilty of that charge. This charge attempts to criminalize a daily fact of American life. Millions of people share online accounts of all kinds every day. This prosecution interferes with and politicizes what the business of Iowa State University and the NCAA. The investigation at the University of Iowa is just the tip of the iceberg. Thousands and thousands of college athletes place bets, usually very small ones, with shared accounts. That is for the schools and the NCAA to police. From boyhood, Hunter Dekkers has been the model student athlete with the first emphasis on student. He grew up in a close-knit farm family in tiny Howardin, Iowa. I think I'm saying that right. On the state's northwest border. Playing football at Iowa State has been a dream come true. This investigation has gone on since May when the DCI, it's an Iowa FBI version, agents executed a search warrant at Hunter's apartment in Ames and another at his family's home in northwest Iowa. The investigation has been an immense distraction for Hunter's ability to be a good student and a great teammate. Hunter greatly appreciates the cooperation and support of Iowa State University and Coach Campbell and his staff during these events. So he can focus on his studies in the defensive on this criminal charge. Hunter has informed the university and the coaching staff that he cannot participate in fall football camp. Can you cover it up by saying the average bets were about $7 for Hunter Deckers?
Well, you can cover it up however you want. They're going to go after him because they need to make an example. That it has to be understood that if you say you can't bet on the games, you can't bet on the games. You can't have someone else bet for you on the games. You can't have an account set up and then say your friends use it and all this other stuff. You just can't do it. That's
the allegations are underage gambling, breach of university NCAA policies using identity of another, unfair wagering and conflict of interest, i.e. betting on Iowa State sporting events 26 times and once on football, wagers routinely and consistently placed by Decker's personal iPhone. Kind of tough to claim you didn't do it when it's on your iPhone.
Right.
Wagers, 366 of them, 297 of them when he was under the age of 21, totaling more than $2,799. There are tax implications, but knowingly and intentionally falsifying electronic sports wagering records with the intent to deceive is illegal in Iowa.
Oh, wow. It's a lot of stuff for $3.
Right.
You know,
what are we doing?
$3,500 in wagers. And listen, the rules are the rules. They're going to ruin the kid's life. He's not going to be able to play. Was there going to be a suspension?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
There's no suspension. You're out.
Yeah. Your ineligibility. Your eligibility
you cannot play.
Yeah. You can't play anymore. Right. You've been arrested.
So along with that comes everything else behind it. Well, who were you sharing the account with? Why would you share the account? You know what? I mean, would you let anyone log into any one of your social media accounts that wasn't you?
No.
They could post something that
you
wouldn't. So why would you let someone in your betting account? Well,
they're calling this the Netflix defense.
Yeah, that's
not me. I didn't do it. I shared my accounts. Everybody else made those bets. I didn't make those bets.
Right.
What?
Well, okay. Why did you let them? It's your account, right? You have to understand the ramifications of every move you make every day and the scrutiny that comes with it. It's going to uncover a lot of things because
it gets worse. It
gets worse.
It gets worse. Former Iowa baseball player accused of making underage wagers. This coming from a guy named Garrett Christensen of Iowa, has been accused of tampering with records related to the Iowa criminal investigation probe. He's 20. He's accused of operating a scheme with his mother, allowing him to hide his identity to manipulate online mobile transactions as if his mother was placing the bets. Tampering with records, the tampering with records charge is an aggravated misdemeanor and could carry a maximum sentence of up to 1 year in jail or 2 years in prison if convicted. He's a native of Des Moines. He was accused of using a DraftKings account to place a total of 549 underage wagers, including approximately 23 wagers on Iowa sporting events, totaling more than $2,400 in a court document. He routinely and consistently, according to the affidavit, placed wagers from his personal iPhone, which were also being tracked at his University of Iowa residency, and the university not routinely open to the public court documents. It states he knowingly and intentionally falsified personal electronic sports wagering records for more than a year while he was a member of the Iowa baseball team. So it's not just baseball. Next is the kicker, Aaron Bloom. He's accused of betting on the under in the Iowa State-Iowa game.
Everybody bet on the under, though.
He's accused of taking
crime?
8 bets on the Iowa State game. Iowa won 27-17. He's charged with underage gambling, unfair wagering, conflict of interest as well. The under closed at 45. The game fell 44. In that game, there were 3 missed kicks. Not by him, but there were 3 missed kicks in that game. 2 extra points and a field goal got missed that would have put this game to the over. He bet the under. He hit. Then finally, Big 12 wrestling champ Panero Johnson, allegedly to have placed 1,283 bets on 25 Iowa State games, totaling 45,000 plus.
Wow.
That's the biggest.
That's a different number than what we've been talking before.
Yeah. Iowa State offensive lineman Dodge Sawyer placing 12 bets on Cyclone football games. He didn't play in those games, $3,000 plus. And Broncos defensive lineman, and I cannot say this guy's name, Iwi Zuike, right? He's been
Zurike, looks like.
He's been suspended for the whole year because he could go to jail for this. Because he's alleged to have bet on 2 Cyclone games, and the NFL claims he was betting on NFL games last year, including games involving the Broncos. He's gone for the entire year. This continues to snowball and snowball and snowball. Every couple of hours, we're getting more reports. The latest of which that just came out, our friend Todd Brommelkamp sent me this before we came on the air. New documents are showing former Iowa basketball player Aaron Illis made 1,850 wagers totaling $34,800 on FanDuel, some of which when he was underage, under the name Anton Porter, including NCAA basketball games in at least 1 Iowa game. He's now at Nebraska. He transferred from Iowa to Nebraska. He is facing most likely the loss of NCAA eligibility for doing that.
Huh. So give me those numbers again. He bet how much? 34,000.
Yeah, 1,850 wagers for $34,800.
$34,800 and 1185. You said wagers.
1,850.
1,850. It's $18 average wager. $18 average wager.
Decker's was $750. This kid's $18.
Yeah. So a couple things. One, the amount of resources that we're using, and I don't mean we because I'm not part of the investigation.
Right.
But
DCI.
The DCI and everybody else knocking on people's doors and searching search warrants and going to kids' college dorm rooms or apartments, going to find out this huge amount of money or gambling ring that's going on. It's mind-boggling to me that this is what we're doing. That's with everything that's going on in this world. That seems like a bit of an overreach of resources to take down this whole thing. 2, you market nonstop to these kids. You advertise, it's fine. I have a daughter that's 20. She knows the ramifications that she would even think of doing this. Okay? Because I tell her. Her mother tells her. We've seen the things that can happen bad. At 20 years old, you said it. You asked her. We had her on the show. What's it like? It sucks to be 20, does it? Because I can't do all the things that I can do at 21. And she was really calm about it. She gave us a great, and no, it's just another year. I mean, another year I'll be able to do everything. If you can bet at 21, but you can't at 20, why would you think it would be okay to bet at 20? Like, I don't understand where the disconnect became because, even some of the people, the parents set up the account.
Right.
Okay. It's my account.
Right.
It's my account. Yeah. So they forced the mom to take a fall because she wouldn't incriminate her son. Okay. Like, what are we doing? What is the goal of all of this? Is this to make an example of everybody and make it known to the world of college sports?
Yes.
Or is the future of this, we're not going to be able to bet on college sports anymore?
Well, that's okay. So here is the question that we have to tackle because this is what happens in Iowa. Okay. This is a attack on college football, according to the state of Iowa. This is college football reputation at stake with players accused of betting on own games. Do you agree or disagree with this headline?
Put that up again. College football reputation at stake. Really?
No, I know Randy well. Okay. Randy doesn't throw. He's not a bomb thrower. Okay. Randy's he's been around Iowa sports for a very long time.
Randy did not write that headline.
But the article says exactly, but it's not like it's an inflammatory clickbait article. I mean, clickbait headline, and the article doesn't say this. I read the article. He literally is saying that you have to be able to protect the integrity of the game. And with this many players being accused of betting on their own games, whether they were playing in them or not, they had privy to inside information. They were at practice. They know the players. They know the game plan. They know what's going on, that they are betting on the game themselves, that you have to essentially throw the book at these kids because you have to make sure it never happens.
What if it's been happening forever?
That is the line everyone's coming back with. If it's always been happening, are we opening up the door and the rats are running? Are we just signing are we shining sunlight disinfectant into the dark corners of sports that have been going on forever? And wasn't that kind of the purpose of legalization?
Purpose of legalization was for the money.
True, but
Don't
they're also
ever misconstrue that they're trying to get the boogeyman out.
fair.
That has nothing to do why legalization. They were wondering why people in places far away in the Caribbean and, Costa Rica and other islands were able to make so much money and actually run bookmaking operations. And they said, we have to legalize this.
Right.
These people have been, and they're using this noble, we're going to get rid of the nefarious black market and all these people. No, you're not. You wanted the money. When we were down there, we said, we'll come home. We'll pay the taxes. Just make sure we don't get in trouble. We're booking the games. That's it. Nah. I had friends that got arrested. I had friends that I knew that didn't know personally, but knew where they worked and stuff them. And they were getting off planes and getting served papers and handcuffs and stuff. And now they're going after the kids because of the legalization of it. Nah, there's something going on here. And you made it normal by legalizing it. You made it normal by advertising nonstop on it. Your own social media accounts, because I get them, go to a state that's not Nevada. You were in Massachusetts. You didn't see it as much because they maybe pulled back. Yeah. I was in Ohio this summer. My Twitter feed totally changed because I got inundated with an offer every hour. They're college kids. It's fun. Do same game parlays. It's easy. You don't have to go to a casino to do it. You can do it right from your phone. They still bad rap Nevada for having in-person registration. There's a lot of reasons why you have in-person registration. It's not just because you control it and you get them to come in the casino and spend other money. It's easier to monitor.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through a lot of checkpoints to do it. Everybody talking a lot of stuff about a lot of things.
I mean, you can still do it. I mean, a mom can still go to a Nevada casino, get an account and hand it to her son.
100%.
So it doesn't stop that. It's an extra step or barrier to entry.
Right.
It's just, do you really want to do it? It's not like sitting on the couch watching a movie and say, hey, mom, can you do this for me so I can bet? Yes, son, here you go. Like, it's more complicated. It's more of a process. You have to actually go fill out paperwork, put your name down, be under camera while you're doing it. It's a lot more of it's a deterrent, I guess is the best way of saying it.
Correct. Why do you think it's Iowa? Iowa's first in the caucuses and all this other stuff. Like,
not anymore, but yeah.
Right? It always used to be.
They're mad about that. Iowa's real mad about that.
Are they mad about this?
Oh, well, look, Iowa is a state in which it's a great movie called The Road to Perdition that
It's a
where
great movie.
it's a phenomenal movie, right? So you go to Chicago. Where did Tom Hanks' character run to? They ran to Iowa. Okay. You go, there's a lot of things that go back and forth between Des Moines and Iowa. I had a friend of mine who worked in the police in Des Moines, and he used to tell me, do you know how much stuff comes from Chicago? It all comes from Chicago. All the guns, the drugs, everything, it all comes to Des Moines. We have a constant back and forth where we're constantly working with Chicago because it impacts that major market. The organizations that are over there impacts Iowa all the time because there's less people. It's easier to navigate. It's easier to stay undetected in Iowa. So Iowa State are the pro sports franchises in the state. It's not a big state, but there's enough people there with enough money that you can make a lot of damage and do a lot of damage if you're looking to do so. Iowa State becoming the focal point of this is not that surprising to me because this is what Iowa's always been worried about. This is a very proud state. These are, I mean, if you look at Keith Murphy, who works for both KXNO and WHO television, look at Todd Brabelkamp, Brigade member, look at their Twitter feeds right now. Look at what people are writing back and forth. They're making this an Iowa State thing. This is who flipped on who did this, who did that. Oh, there's more Iowa fans or more Iowa players getting busted than Iowa State. Oh, it's Iowa State starting quarterback. He must have been throwing games. There's a million things going back and forth. This is what Iowa didn't want. This is what they were afraid of with their football program. So I think the reason why they're investigating this is because 1, they got tipped off, and 2, they want to be seen as the leaders of this, saying this is not happening in our state. We're taking the most aggressive line possible to stop this stuff from happening. Because it's happening everywhere, by the way.
It's happening everywhere. This is
not one isolated state. The only reason why Iowa's willing to go down the rabbit hole because of how Iowa State, because of how important the universities are, their athletic departments and the integrity of them, how important is it to the entire ecosystem in the state?
And the irony of the legalization is that by bringing it to light and making it so easy, you can pay the consequences dearly for doing it. Whereas before, back in the day, I mean, at the fraternity house, everyone, asked guys there were guys betting and there guys weren't betting. And hey, do you have anybody that'll take a bet? Sure. And you referred somebody in and then, that's how it worked. But there were no phones. There were there was all this stuff.
My bookie was on my floor.
Right.
My bookie was, I guess let me correct myself. He wasn't my bookie. He worked for the bookie. He was the muscle.
Oh,
so
okay.
He was the intermediate. I never met the people who ran the book, but he was the collector. He was the one that on Tuesday morning would walk around the entire dorm, and they hired him to be the guy, to be the collector or the pay, either or. He on Tuesday morning, he'd come in, here you go, here you won, or here's what you pay up, you lost.
Right.
So, but that is going, that was in 1996.
Yeah.
Like this has been going, this is not like a new thing. We just made it really easy because it's like playing Roblox on your phone. Oh, it's $18. Okay. What do we call it yesterday? What do we call it?
Betting?
Micro betting, but it's micro whatever. It's
transactions.
Thank you. It's a micro transaction. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's $18. It's this. It's $10. It's $8. Whatever it might be. And it adds up. The number seems to be a little bit deceiving because it's not like they placed one bet for $45,000.
No,
they placed 1,800 bets. That's a lot, but it's small amounts. It adds up to the handle, making it to be a big number, but it's not like they were putting in 1,000, pulling out 1,000.
No, that's that, right? I mean, the amount of money bet is not necessarily the amount of money won or lost. They may have deposited $100. It made 1,000 bets for $2 a piece. Got a match bonus of deposit 100 to get 1,000 and play through it.
Right.
And
the handle.
Who knows what? Right. I don't think. I mean, the step of going, it's corruption, is a big step to make. Is it not?
Only because of the fact that, Deckers is a different story because Deckers is the headline. That's the starting quarterback for Iowa State this season. He was going to start this season. That's why ESPN.com has the front page headline story. Iowa State quarterback arrested for accused of gambling, because the football quarterback position is the most important in sports. We know this. So if that kid has any type of black cloud, dark cloud over his head in terms of gambling, that's a big deal. But everyone else, even the Big 12 wrestling champion, everyone else is sort of just like, okay, you're a backup kicker, you're a transferred basketball player, you're a wrestler. Yes, an NFL player has been caught up in this. So yes, there is a guy from Iowa State who is going to be suspended for a year. So that's a big NFL headline. But that's kind of why is it corruption, or is it just, I guess the question that I don't know, that I can't say for sure it's not corruption, is what was the first domino? Who flipped? How did they get where did the breadcrumb trail begin that led all the investigators down this rabbit hole?
Is there a good answer to this question?
Well, it's not good, but there might be an answer.
Whatever the answer is bad.
Yes.
No matter what it is.
I agree. Yes.
It's terrible.
So can I call it corruption? I don't know. I mean, if this was
kids aren't fixing the games. These kids are not fixing the games. Now, could they? The leap in the stories and the headlines and the investigations, or what are betting? They bet $7 a game.
Correct. But you're right. The question is, could they? And the answer is yes.
Well, that's
why they're hammering them now. Yeah, right. That's why they're so aggressive, is that they could have been throwing the games. They're not being accused of it, but they're being accused that they could have.
Right. But the question becomes, what has been going on? Why are you just looking at this now? I have questions like that all the time.
If boxers,
there have been gambling scandals for a long time. College is actually probably easier to manipulate.
Sure.
Right?
Let me ask you this question, because somebody asked me this in my DMs this morning. If boxers are legally allowed to bet on themselves to win, why can't college kids bet on their teams to win?
Why can't they?
Well, they're not allowed to.
I know.
But why? I mean, I don't know. I can't answer it. I don't know why. I'm asking you. As a book, would you care if a kid was betting on his own team to win?
As a book, you just take bets. I don't know where you draw the line. I mean, there's books that take bets from these kids because they want to be able to be friends that they can maybe ask them questions later about injuries, or about who's having a bad week, who's this. I mean, that guy that was doing the Alabama baseball stuff.
Yeah.
He was connected to the coach. I mean, told the coach probably that, hey, we won't get caught. Don't worry about it. And he tried to bet $100,000 on a college baseball game. Greed gets everybody. It's bad. I don't like any of it. I don't like where the implications are, but to see all of this push and basically end these 20-year-old kids' lives because they should have known better. Yes, they should have known better. Yes, they 100% should have. But someone told them to do it. Someone told them it was okay. That's where the failure is. And then you're going to go, okay, college football's reputation is on the line. Where has it been? It's been on the line every day. I mean, NILs are now open. Is that good? I don't know. Kids been getting bags of cash in their parents' houses for years. Now we're going to scrutinize it because it's legal. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that need to be asked further. I just don't want to make that leap to well, now the kids are fixing the games. It's not an Iowa thing. It's not.
No. Just so you know, Iowa, it's not. The FBI investigating a Las Vegas hotel employees, plural, for giving confidential data to a sports betting ring. Federal law enforcement agents from California are investigating allegations. This, according to the Nevada Current. The current and former Las Vegas hotel employees used casino assets to pay gambling debts and provided confidential customer data to an illegal gambling ring that operated for almost 2 decades, according to sources. A state employee who asked not to be identified says federal agents have interviewed or taken statements from several former employees of the Nevada Gaming Control Board and have inquired specifically, about Resorts World President Scott Zabella and the former president of MGM Grant. This is basically an allegation that they were using promo chips to pay off gambling debts to a former minor league baseball player named Wayne Nix, who we have talked about before on this show, for money owed to an illegal sports betting operation that Nix admitted he operated, and he was arrested and will be charged in March of 24 for operating for, it's not really the gambling charge, it's the RICO charge of tax evasion on $1.5 million, which he failed to disclose to the IRS. Getting him the way that they've gotten Whitey Bulger and getting the way they're getting all the Al Capones and everybody else. They get you with the IRS, not with what you were doing.
Right.
This is not good, Dave.
No.
This is a bad story and not a good look for Las Vegas.
Oh, not at all. Because I mean, it traces back to supposedly like professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were betting and talking. Again, when you normalize it in your teens and 20s and you really like to do it, and then you get untouchable because you have FU money, you can do what you want. They tell you can't bet. If you really want to bet, you're going to bet. I don't know where they're going to stop it. Like, and now this thing with the chips.
Here's the quote that jumped out at me, Dave. It said about the chips being utilized to pay off gambling debts. It took the U.S. attorney in California to finally look into this stuff that's been going on for decades.
Mm-hmm.
So why now?
Great question.
Why now? If this has been a known commodity, this has been going on, that high-level executives in Las Vegas have been.
Hold on, you're frozen. Pause. Snap your fingers.
6, 7, 8, 9,
Snap your
10.
fingers. Come back.
Yes.
Come back. There you
Back.
are.
Okay.
All right, you're back.
So if this has been going on for decades,
Right.
where promotional trips have been used to pay off gambling debts and or other things, mind you, it's not just being used to pay off sports betting debts. Let's be perfectly clear here. Like, this is legitimately free money. If what's being alleged is accurate and true, you're taking untraced chips that are given to high rollers. You're given a marker, and then you can cash said marker in for dollars, and then you give that said amount of money to whomever you want to pay off for whatever debt you need to pay off. Why now? This is a long-standing practice. Who got mad at who flipped on whom to make the attorney general in California, mind you, not in Nevada. The California AG is coming in here and doing this investigation.
It's almost football season, isn't it?
It is.
Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Here.
Oh. We have to make sure we shake out all of the maybe dust and things that have been happening. A nice splashy headline.
Oh, I like it. I see that. Yeah. We're clean.
Every single year, the week between the championship games and the Super Bowl, someone somewhere does a bust. Puts it out there for gambling, an illegal gambling ring. Seen it now for decades. It grabs all the headlines because if you do the Google search for Super Bowl, you put the Super Bowl words in there and you get the story. Everybody gets to make a name for themselves.
Fair.
It's a good timing with Vegas being the host of the biggest television show, sporting event of the entire year. Go look at what the 10 most watched television shows are in the history of television. I think 9 of them are the Super Bowl, and the MASH finale.
Yes, was one. Yes.
was somewhere. Now it's
8
like
or 9.
3. Yeah. It used to be up there, and now it's falling down. But it's a perfect time to do this. And maybe somebody finally flipped. Maybe somebody got stiffed and said, you know what? I'm telling. I don't care. I don't know. But I read the story and I was like, oh no. Like, this is Why? What? How? Who? That was the journalism 101 class. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. All these questions are going to come out, aren't they?
Oh, without a doubt. I just think you have to ask why. That's my why now, because we've heard rumblings of this for a long time. Like, this is not that. To answer your question, the top 10 broadcasted viewers of all time, the moon landing is number one.
Ooh.
That was 125 to 150 million people watched that across multiple networks. Super Bowl, last year's Super Bowl in 2022, or I guess 2021, so 2 years ago, was 115 million.
Wow.
And the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And then Richard Nixon resigning is number 10.
Wow.
And then the next 2 are Super Bowls, then the MASH finale, then the next 2 are Super Bowls, then the Roots finale, and the day after.
Mm.
And then the next 3 are Super Bowls. And then number 21 is O.J. Simpson's the police chase of O.J. Simpson, which was 95 million people. And then the next from 22 to 27 are all Super Bowls. So of the top 27 most watched events of all time on television, only 5 are not Super Bowls.
It's a pretty big deal. Somebody put in the chat, it's an election year. Might be that. I don't know. I don't know why.
It's not an election. It's not an election year. Next year's an election year.
Yeah, you're right. Who said that in the chat?
Next year. It's not an election
Come
year.
on, Dave.
Next year.
Dave's Daily Picks.
24 is the
it's
election.
An election year. Come on.
It's not an election year. I mean, they're running for something, but we don't have a November election coming up that's significant. It's not even a midterm year.
No.
So
I don't know. Again, there's going to be more to the story. A lot of people use the sports book for a lot of things, and laying 3 or 3.5 isn't one of them, despite the fact that that's the means of entry. There's a lot of things that go on in a sports book that it's a conduit for other stuff. We'll leave it at that.
Mm.
There's you got to be aware. And the casino business is the same.
No, you're combining the two. To real sports, let's get to it. Last night, we saw history last night. The first left-handed no-hitter in the history of the Astros was thrown by Framber Valdez last night.
93 pitches, Perrault.
He was phenomenal on that. One walk. He was one stinking walk away from a perfect game against the Cleveland Guardians last night on trade deadline day, on the day the Astros acquired Justin Verlander.
Oh,
it's pretty good.
How big is that for the team, for him? We just went and got the prize free agent or the prize pitching guy. We're just going to bring him back. Bygones be bygones. Don't worry about his wife bad rapping the city and everything else.
No, that's all gone. Yeah,
that's
all good.
Just come in and start every 5th day. Get us the division in the bye, and then we'll go from there.
Why not?
But he goes and does that. It was fantastic.
Isn't it weird though? Why did they just give him the money? Why didn't the Astros just pay? If they were willing to take the same contract, why didn't they just keep him? Such a weird deal. The Astros are getting. I mean, that's the one thing that I'm like, wait. So you had to give up stuff to go get him, but you could have had him. He was yours, and you said he was washed, and he wasn't going to be able to contribute. And not only did you get him back, you got him back, and you got to pay for 2 more years after this. Now the Mets are handling some of that money, but I don't understand.
Well, I mean, they got him for less if they'd had to pay him the whole thing.
It's a great question to see how much the Mets are paying versus what the Astros offered him, what contract he was offered. I don't know the team well enough to know that, but
I mean, it was the same as Scherzer, right? It was $40 million a year for 2 years, so it was $80 million.
No, because Verlander's got the kicking clause that Max doesn't. If Verlander throws 140 innings next year, he kicks in for $35 million the following season. Max didn't have that.
Okay, well, obviously the Astros weren't excited to even discuss that. That's probably why he left.
Right. But now they're okay with that. Now they're getting him back and they got to pay him. It's just weird. They could have had him. Instead, they let him walk and let him come back. It's a weird
still think
mistake.
I still think the talent wins.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like if you still got it, whether you still got your fastball or you're just a breaking ball and that's a metaphor for some things like, right. I think the talent still wins. Like the talent will still get paid. Just remember that when it comes time to talk and negotiation and all that other stuff, I still think the talent, there's no show. You can keep playing the games, but you're not far from being Kansas City or the Mets when you don't have pitching. Nothing against Kansas City or definitely against the Mets. It's kind of fun. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. You see the way they lost last night?
Did I see the way the Mets lost last night?
To the Royals?
Oh, balk off. Yes.
Balk off.
Balk off. Bases loaded, balk off. Now the ghost runner rules. I mean, you can just go and Will, you can go and fucking take that somewhere else and fly off the handle because the total of that game was 9.5. It was 3-3. Then it was 4-4. Then it was 6-4. You could have gotten away with a 5-4 loss if you'd bet the under. I didn't bet the under, but if you had bet the under 9.5, because I felt pretty good about that. Going, all right, 9.5, get a 5-4 win, we're okay. Nope, 2 runs in the top of the 10th inning, so it's 6-4. And then 2 more runs get scored, so now we're way the hell over the total. Now we're going over the live totals here for this game, which were 10.5 for most of the game. 6-6, bases loaded, and you're thinking, oh, maybe you have the over. I had the over 12.5 or the over 13.5 in that game because all those numbers were popping live. No, you get a balk, and it's a 7-6 final.
Yeah. JC from KC. He said the better question is, did you see how the Royals won last night? Yes, the Royals won last night. That was good. That was good.
Collapse. It's a complete utter collapse. It could help if you had a closer. You're up 6-4, going to the bottom of the 10th inning. Be nice to have a closer, wouldn't it? Be to have a guy come in. Oh no, wait, our closer, we shipped him out already to the Marlins.
But did you see what that closer did?
He blew the game for the Marlins. He blew the game for the Marlins. So
how does that happen? They bring him in
1-0.
Come close the game 1-0. Nope.
Why we brought you in for this exact reason. We just traded you to close down games. We need this game, Robertson. Get out there and do your. Oh, really, dude? And then lose the game 3-1.
They didn't get ghost runner though, so that was good.
No, they did not.
Stayed under.
Game stayed under 7.5. It did stay. I bet the over to 7.5. Only bet I lost yesterday was that stupid game. So, and I needed the Marlins to win because I have the over 76.5 win total on the Marlins. So I need them to get to 77.
Oh,
Red Sox and the Yankees did very little yesterday at the trade deadline. It is a very different world in baseball.
Why?
I don't know. Red Sox fans are really, really mad. They're very angry. They're very confused. Yeah, they're very confused. They don't understand.
More than usual?
Yes, because this team is 2.5 games out. As I mentioned to you last night on Sports Grid, in 2018, the Red Sox team looked very similar to this year's team. It was just kind of a bunch of misfits. Didn't really, you were like, who are these guys? And then Shane Victorino got red freaking hot. And the Red Sox won the World Series in a year that didn't have a dominant team, didn't have a superstar team of, oh my gosh, that team's so good. Red Sox won their 4th championship since 2004. And this Red Sox team, I'm not saying they could win the whole thing, but this Red Sox team could have used a little bit of a kick in the tail. And instead, Chaim Bloom came out and said, we're underdogs, and we acted as such. The Boston Red Sox are not underdogs. Can we please never, ever in 1,000 years, that is such 1999 type language. It is. It's pre 4 championships. The Red Sox have won 4 titles since the Yankees have won 1 since 2002 or 2001, actually. What are we doing? You have more championships than anyone else in the whole, fucking division.
Bam!
What are you talking about? The Orioles have none. The Rays have none. The Blue Jays have none. You have 4. Who's the underdog now? What are you talking about? I mean, I don't understand what's going on. If Chaim Bloom wants to get on a train and sent out of town, you're doing a pretty damn good job of buying the ticket for yourself and making it happen. because this ain't Tampa, man. That was the one thing everyone was worried about when they came in. They're like, wait, this is great, because they tried to hire Billy Beane. That didn't work. Instead, they got Theo Epstein, same philosophy, but big money, and he went and spent it, and they won a bunch of championships. All right, so you get Heimblum now from Tampa. He knows he's not in Tampa anymore, right? He's in Boston. He's got money. He's got things to do, right? He doesn't have to do this, right? That's Tampa talking. Tampa is underdogs. Tampa has no one who shows up. Tampa has no history. Tampa has a shit ballpark. What are we doing? I mean, that line can get you fired. I mean, people in print, it reads worse than he said it. Okay, I'll say that.
You don't like small market baseball? What's wrong with you? You be successful in small market baseball. Ask Kansas City. They've done it
once. They're not a small market team.
They're not?
I mean, stop acting like, John Henry, I don't care if you own Liverpool. I don't care if you own the Penguins. I don't care who else you own. I don't care how many NASCAR teams you want to sponsor. Like, your main cog, why you have, well, I guess the wife came before the team, but she stayed with you because of what you were able to build. Have you seen that guy? My goodness, it looks like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, he does not.
Yes, he does. Look at him. He looks like Groot from I Am Groot.
Really?
That's John Henry. Yes. Okay. And this dude's like, oh, we can't spend money. What? Devers is the one guy he keeps. Bogarts is in San Diego knocking the cover off the ball. Mookie Betts is playing for the Dodgers, competing for championships.
Boy, what a team they would have had if they kept those guys together.
What a joke.
Wow.
What an absolute clown
all
show.
The Boston stuff. Yeah.
And he can say, I won a championship in the last 5 years. What's wrong? He's literally hanging his hat on the fact that was a fluke championship. I'll even admit that. That was not even, that was like, wait, how the hell? What? Wait a minute.
20-second timeout. I just looked down in the chat and Zach the Hats just contributed and said, buy Will a coffee to the super chat. Because Will has when you start to do this. And then Sonic said, I'm starting to say sorry, Will, before I drop an F-bomb in daily life. Will, we love you. All right. And yes,
shorts are all because of Will. So if you want to know how cool the shorts are, by the way, people are really finding it. It's really kind of funny. Of all the shorts we've put out in the last 2 weeks, the most popular is me ripping on Mahomes' wife. And everyone's getting very upset about this. They think that I was being misogynistic. I really wasn't. I was just saying she was annoying. I didn't mean anything like, worldly about it, like ripping on women or athletes who are married to women or whatever. I was just, she's annoying. That's all I was saying. And it's now in the whole YouTube sphere. And there's like 15 messages. People are going back and forth going, why are men so toxic? Toxic men are in here. Like, it wasn't the point, guys.
Is that what's
like,
happening? I haven't
looked. I'm being accused of being toxic by people in our chat.
Oh no.
So,
well, thank you, Zach the Hat, for the contribution to the super chat, and obviously Will for doing the shorts and for making sure that the show will always stay on late night, because we will say occasionally a bad word or two and apologize for doing it before we do it. You're right, a little bit, but this is baseball. Like, what were they going to go get Verlander? He wasn't going to go to Boston. That's what they needed, right? They needed one, I think, a starter to go along with Bello.
You could have gotten Jack Flaherty.
Do you want Jack Flaherty?
I don't know. He's better than some of the other guys that are throwing out there. They're throwing out openers, guys who can't even get out of the first inning. I think the back end of that rotation is awful.
It's tough, but so is everyone's. I don't know. All they have to do is get in.
Did you see what Kike did last night?
I did.
Kike Hernandez, who couldn't hit himself out of a wet paper bag in Boston. Bases loaded.
Moving and stuff.
Bases loaded, clearing double last night to blow the game open against the A's.
Yes.
Of course, Kike goes there and does that. Couldn't do anything in Boston. He was miserable. Goes to LA, doing the dance, rips a double for 3 RBIs.
Yes. He was shaking his hips too on second base, man. That
happy
looked
for him.
like that was fun.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Kike. He's back where he wants to.
Energy.
Cool. But look at that lineup. Look how many former Red Sox are on that Dodgers team. It's crazy.
Oh, there's definitely, that's a pipeline.
It's really crazy. JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez. Like, and same on the other way, Justin Turner. Like, these two teams just trade players. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. It's very frustrating when you're 2.5 games out and you don't do anything. You don't try to make any type of splash move. You don't try to bolster.
Would you have
anything.
wanted Lorenzen? Like the Phillies went and got Lorenzen from Detroit. They
Sure.
need another starter. There's no question. That would have been the one move made.
Well, look, Erod waived the no trade clause to the Dodgers, right?
Yep.
He's a Red Sox farmhand.
Yep.
Would he have waived the trade back to Boston? I don't know. He may have said yes. Bring him back.
Know.
He would have been expensive. It would have cost the Red Sox a lot. But I would have rather than them go and get him. Make a play for him. See if he'll come back. He had 10 teams on the list. I don't think Boston was on the list of teams he wouldn't go to. The Dodgers were. Now, why did he say no? There's a variety of things running around. But the prevailing opinion is he didn't want to lose 40% of his paycheck by playing in California.
Oh.
The taxes were why he didn't want to go there because he's a free agent after next season and didn't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah. Again, it's hard to speculate. That's why you put in the no trade clause contract. Right. We were talking about it on Sports Grid, and Kurtz came on with me and Gabe and Cam, and Kurtz goes, well, I wouldn't go if Cardano wanted to trade me to the West Coast. You know, I wouldn't go. I would invoke a no trade clause. And I was like, started to think like, oh, geez, if we got traded to the East Coast, we talked about it yesterday, you and I. I mean, for whatever reason, I would want to say no. Like, I'm not ready to move to the East Coast.
Because you negotiated the power to do that.
Right.
So you have the power to say no, because it's why you wanted that power, and using that power, nothing wrong with using that power. That's why you put it in the contract.
Absolutely nothing. Right. Like, so you think, oh, I get to go play Dodger Stadium. I get to go be in LA. There's a lot of ramifications behind it that maybe individuals don't want. So a lot of people are judging him and the whole system and all that. That's part of
power to the player on that. I love that. I mean,
I love it too.
You put that in there for a reason because you want me to sign here. Okay, good. This is what I want. This much money, and I want a no trade clause. You say yes, then you try to trade me. You gave me the power to say no, so I'm saying no. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. I have no issues with Erod at all saying that. I'm not going to play. I mean, and there's tax. Look, there's lifestyle differences. There's travel differences. There's tax implications. A lot of things about playing in California that may not appeal to somebody.
One star just came in the chat too and said he read that, you know, he had family on the East Coast he wanted to be close to.
Right. I have no problem with
that.
Nothing
wrong with that.
I have no problem.
He looks good today in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. They're middle to 7th. The Tigers are leading 5-2.
Nice. What's the score? What's the score of the Marlins game? Do you know?
Marlins are playing. They haven't started yet.
Sorry, the Braves game. Sorry. Oh, 9-4. Good. I'm on the over. I bet the over first 5 on the Braves. What did we get? We got 6 runs in the bottom of the 4th. Look at that. Bingo. Good. That was the easiest bet of the day for me. Was the Braves first 5 over.
Right.
Because the Braves had been held down in 2 games. And I was like, they're not going to get held down for a 3rd straight game. They're going to score a lot of runs in the first 5. So we go over. Yeah, that was 5.5 was the total.
There you go.
We got 6. We got 3 in the 3rd and 6 in the 4th from the Braves. So they scored 9 themselves in the first 5.
So now, to wrap this up and move on to the next thing, but like making a trade just to make a trade. I mean, the Angels made a couple trades, right? They went and got Lucas Giolito. So far, not so good. Not the best.
Bad. You know? 2 starts, 2 bad starts. Yeah.
So again, just making the move to make the move, it creates something for the fan base sometimes, but sometimes not making the move and going into the clubhouse and saying, go win it. Go get us in the playoffs. We believe in you may be the right thing. I don't know.
Well, the Mets are going to have to deal with this because according to Max Scherzer on the way out the door, as he was being traded and as he was negotiating the no trade clause he had to go to Texas, he asked Steve Cohen, what happens next year? And Steve Cohen, according to Max, said, we're going to be competitive in 2025. Which then Max went, wait, my contract's only good through 2024. So we're going to suck next year? But yes, I'm send me to Texas, please. Get me the hell out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. If you're a Met fan this morning, you're not only waking up with the idea that your team's going to suck this year, your team's going to suck next year too.
It's tough, isn't it? It's really tough. Will, sorry. I fucking love it. I don't like it. I love it. Okay? Mets fans, it's annoying. It's too much. I got caught up with Tommy Trumpet last year. I forget his name. Whether it was
plays
Timmy,
Vegas
Tommy.
all the time now.
Okay,
He's like a resident here.
I loved it. It's a shame you haven't seen him much at Citi Field.
Well, they lost their closer. They lost their closer from jumping up and down in the World Baseball Classic.
But there weren't many games to save. Actually, a lot of things went bad.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough being a Mets fans, and then the Yankee fans. No move for you guys either. Oh my goodness. I listened to the Yankees podcast yesterday with JJ and Yankee fans commiserating on the downfall of Cashman and this ownership group, and they're boring. And how can we survive? They're not going to go to Yankee games in September. That's it. It's no more.
They're going to boycott. Man. They're going to pull. Do you see the Dodger fans last night chanting "sell the team" alongside with the A's fans who were there chanting "sell the team"?
I didn't see it yet. I read about it.
It was so good.
Was it good?
Dodger fans jumped in. They're like, "Okay, yeah, we can do this." It's like basically, "You guys suck. You guys suck." Like that's basically what it was when you're jumping in with a "sell the team." I was dying. I was like, "Man, that is just ice cold." A's fans are trying to do something, and you guys are like, "Oh yeah, this is a good idea." You guys are awful. Let's make fun of you even more. Like you're not even A's fans are not even in on the joke that Dodger fans were making of them. It was great.
I love baseball. I love going to games. I love all the fan base, the daily grind of the day to day. There's an ebb and flow to the whole thing. I mean, you get it when you watch the games. You get the feel for the team and for the local stuff. It's a shame about New York baseball being over on August 2nd. It's a shame. Too bad. It's a shame.
Moving to football, it is time for the Circa Sports NFL story of the day. Team of the day, really. The team of the day, you're wearing the sweatshirt. I'm wearing the hat. It is the LA Rams. That is the team of the day. The biggest pro football contest in Las Vegas. They are back again for its 5th year with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circa Sports. You guys can be a part of this coming football season. Enter in Vegas. Play from anywhere with 2 ways to win and no rake. Play the Million Pro Football Contest with quarterly payouts and 100% payback. Pick a winner with the Survivor Contest. Select one team each week with no point spread. Get your share of $14 million in guaranteed prizes this season. Visit circasports.com for full details. The Rams are the team of the day today. You're wearing the Rams. I'm wearing the Rams. Win total is set for 6.5. They were 5-12 last season. Reasons to be excited if you are a Ram fan. You still have Aaron Donald, arguably the best player in the NFL. You still have Cooper Kupp, arguably the best wideout in the NFL. The problem is your reasons to be concerned equally are because Cooper Kupp got hurt yesterday and he's out several weeks with a bum hamstring. That's not good. And Aaron Donald may not want to be there anymore. Aaron Donald is getting very upset about the team because they won a Super Bowl, but he's not getting any younger and the team is going to stink. Let's look at the schedule for the Rams. They are the 30th ranked team, according to Pro Football Focus, on the way into the season.
For the record, one of my new favorite things is every day, which we do the segment at the end of the show, favorite thing about today, whether it's in BVB bonus time or not, it ends the show. I was going to mention it then, but I want to mention it now before I forget. Your little things to be, I want to make sure I say it right. When you list the Circa Sports NFL team of the day, reasons to be excited and reasons to be concerned. These are 2 of my new favorite things every single day that I look forward to in your email.
It's just ways of accentuating the conversation.
I love it.
I love it.
I saw it and I was like, oh, it's Cooper Kupp is hurt. This is under. I can't wait to go through the schedule because it all depends on how long he's out.
Well, it's at least 2 weeks. It could be more.
Oh, it's only 2 weeks. I thought
It's
it
a
was like 8
hamstring, though.
weeks. I
Well,
know.
it's a hamstring. Who knows how long it's going to be? It could be months. I mean, a hamstring for a wide receiver to have an injured hamstring is significant. That's not good. That could be a long. You don't
No.
want to rush him back either. So
You ever
he
pull a
could miss
hamstring?
time. I've never pulled it like off the bone. I never had a full complete tear, but I heard it. Yeah, numerous times. It stinks. It's the worst.
Hurts a lot.
Well, it's not just the thing that bugs, and everyone who's done this knows it. It's the idea that once it heals, how you hurt it, it takes time to get the mental idea that you're not going to do it again. That same move that hurt it is not going to re-injure it.
Right.
That was always my worry. It's like, I'm going to plant and I'm going to push off really hard. And that's when I ripped it the first time. And if it does it again, you get very concerned about your ability to stay healthy.
You get concerned about like walking to the bathroom
Yeah.
or climbing up steps after you do it once.
Yeah.
The last time I did it, I was on second base. We were playing softball, and a guy hit a ball in the gap, and I started to run towards third.
Mm.
And I felt like I got shot. And I stood on third base and said, I'm done. And that was it. I walked off the field, and I didn't play again because it hurt so bad. No. That was my retirement game.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
that was it. I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't
So
run the
here's a
bases.
Here's a schedule for the Rams, and it's not fun. Their bye week is in week 10, which is perfect, but they open up at Seattle on the road.
What are they, like 4-point dogs in that game?
Probably.
Look,
Seattle's going to be better.
Loss.
Yeah, Seattle's going to be better. Home for San Francisco.
No.
It's a loss. At Cincinnati.
No.
0-3 start. At the Colts. They got to win that game.
I mean, they could. They could win that game, but I would say no.
I'll give it to them just because they have to win this game because they play Philly at home next.
Stafford's healthy
He is
now, right?
Yep, he is. They
All
tried
right,
to trade him.
We'll give them a win there.
Indy or over Philly?
No, they're not beating Philly.
No, yeah, over Indy, I agree. So it's a 1-4 start.
Right.
Arizona coming to town.
They beat Arizona every time.
Every
too.
year.
Yeah. It don't matter who's on what team.
Yeah.
They beat Arizona.
2 wins.
Right.
Pittsburgh at home.
Steelers playing LA.
Uh-huh.
Oh my.
They play in Vegas and they play in LA for you. You have two chances to see your team this year.
Gonna be really busy on Sundays too. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I'll say the Steelers win that game.
I would agree. At Dallas.
No.
At Green Bay.
No.
2 wins to the bye.
Yeah.
They're 2-7 when they go to the bye.
Okay.
Home for Seattle.
Yes, they win that game.
I would agree. There's 3. Home at Arizona.
They'll win that game.
I agree. They come out of the bye with 2 straight wins. Now they have 4. Home for Cleveland.
I'll say no.
At Baltimore.
No.
Home for Washington.
Yes.
5. Home for New Orleans.
Maybe.
This is the bet. Let's just give it to them for 6 for fun. At New York and at San Francisco. They got to win one of the final 2 road games, and one's an East Coast trip.
In December.
As the LA Rams.
You know that's not going to go well.
Nope. 6 wins is the headline, is the top for the Rams.
What's the season win number?
6.5.
Juice which way?
To the under, I believe.
Look at this. Yeah, my first thought is under.
Let's see.
NFL season win totals. Should have done this before. Let's see.
It's -110 both sides.
Okay. Good number, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah. Some books, Tipico's got it at -134 to the under, +110 to the over. Some books are at -110 to both sides. So some books are juicing it to the under, which I think is right.
Man, they have no shot at winning the division.
No.
Look at those odds. That's crazy how far they've fallen.
So a couple things here. McVay's married now. McVay's having a baby now. He's having a life. He's starting a family. Okay. There were thoughts that McVay was going to leave. So they went for it all. They won the Super Bowl. They knew they were going to be bad. Jalen Ramsey gone. They got rid of a bunch of talent. They were in salary cap hell because they went for it. So now they're 3 years removed from that championship. I really wonder if the team is bad, but they make progress. You start to see them progressing towards, because they've traded away so many first round picks. They still don't have a first round pick until I think 2028 or something. It's ridiculous. But I think McVay might be locked back into coaching. I think he was somewhat checked out after the championship. He had a lot of other things on his mind, other things going on. So I think he's locked back in. Settled, married, family, wants to stay in LA, doesn't want to leave. I think he's back locked into coaching. I think the Rams lose a ton of games, but I think you'll start to see them turn the corner and look like a team that next year will be better. Stafford might not be there, though.
I was going to say, right? Like, what's the backup plan to Stafford?
There isn't one, really.
Like, I don't know who to back
draft
up.
a quarterback. I mean, they'll be bad. Draft a quarterback, develop a quarterback. I mean, that's
right.
The plan. That's going to be the plan. That would be the Rams, and Stafford. And when his deal's up, you go ahead and make the move, because otherwise, look, the Rams talent-wise, they should trade Aaron Donald. They're not going to, but they should. Brett Rippon, Stenson Bennett, and Dresser Wynn are your backup quarterbacks currently for the Rams.
He's going to have to do a hell of a coaching job to win 8 games.
Yes. Yeah, because you've got injuries.
8 and 9 is
they're not winning 8 games. Season. They're not winning 8 games. There's no way.
Well, I think that's the top. If there's a couple coin flip games fall, I mean, the most they can win, it looks like, is 8. So 6.5, every number except 2 is under. I asked this yesterday. It's more surprising. 4 wins or 8 wins for the Rams?
8.
I think with McVay and with Donald and with the, veteran, like, I don't know. I think 4 would be more surprising. They go that bad. They go 4-13.
They won 5 last year. 5-12 last year. It's not that crazy to take another step back because of the start of that season. That schedule was bad. Now Cooper Kupp's going to miss a bunch of time.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, these discussions are great, and then guy gets hurt like that. He's the key to the whole offense. He's the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, he's the whole team. I mean,
he's gone now.
He is the Rams, right?
Oh, that's brutal.
Higbee, you have a tight end who's decent. That's it.
Good luck with that. The good thing about that is that if they're bad, those Steeler tickets will be still sold out. Yeah, the whole place will be black and gold.
It will be. That's true. It will be all LA. That's true. The A's have seen the design for the ballpark. They've told the team that it's garbage. The team has told the group that designed the Vegas ballpark, the renderings that were put out, that the company that won the bid, the team has called it garbage.
They use that word?
Front office sport reporting this. Stadium renderings stoke excitement, but A's say they're garbage. Team tells architect candidates to dismiss initial ballpark drawings. Early renderings showed several features not possible at the Tropicana site. One of which is the fact that they don't think they have enough space to have a retractable roof.
Oh.
This will be a permanent dome. Only 9 acres are allowed for this project, which is not great and not big enough to do a retractable roof. It's all but impossible to do this on 9 acres, to build a retractable roof.
What in the hell's going on down there? What is happening?
This is an abject disaster. The A's trying to move to Vegas is turning into as big of a clown show as the F1 situation right now with traffic.
It can't. I mean, you can't even
Mother Nature, by the way, hated traffic cones so much that she was just like, you know what? I'm going to clean them all out. And it just took all the traffic cones, took all the traffic signs, and just flooded the entire zone. Goodbye. Well, yeah, it all went.
Yeah, the weather portion of the show will come at the end because it was crazy what happened here yesterday. It's got to be embarrassing to somebody what's happening with this whole thing. Is it not? Like at some point,
My question to Lombardo is how big's the bag? Because it should be embarrassing you. It should be embarrassing the governor. That's who it should be embarrassing. The person who greenlit this idea. Because if you believe the people who are in and around local politics, the two previous Democratic governors got the Raiders and got Allegiant. He wanted something shiny and fun to put his name on. I brought this to the state of Nevada. Look at all the jobs I created. Look at everything I was able to do. So rather than wait for the MBA, which could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 6 years down the road, which will be outside of his most likely tenure as governor here in Nevada, he wanted to rush this. So yes, this would be, I would look at the governor and say, at what point do you get really mad and go public here and say, get your act together? This is embarrassing.
I don't know. Like the stories that continue to come out. The next one is more unbelievable than the last one. And you sent this thing, and I looked at it, and I was like, this come on. This can be so much better for everybody if it was real. I don't feel like it's real. I feel like this is all posturing. This is not really going to happen. And now they're calling out, sorry, Will, they're calling out all of them on their bullshit. The drawings, not good.
The renderings are awful. It's just impossible. Like people saw it and went, oh man, a retractable roof, that's cool. No, you can't do a retractable roof. Nobody asked that question. How much space do you need to do a retractable roof? Like, who did you hire? Like kids with Lego sets? Like, what do you mean? They have no experience building?
Like the retractable roof is the appeal of the baseball.
100%. Because a dome is needed for July and August. It's not really needed for April, May, and even parts of June. It's nice here. You want to be outside. You want to sit in the sun. October baseball would be unbelievable. Playoff baseball outside in Vegas. Our weather in October, that's the dirty little secret. The best month to come to town here is October.
Would be fantastic.
The weather is perfect in October. 80 degrees, sunny,
it's
breezy,
pretty damn
gorgeous.
good in May too.
It is, yeah.
Like the transition in April is a little sometimes hit and miss, but May is perfect. It'd be open almost every night that they were home.
Yeah.
And depending on when the cool off happens in September, we might have some really nice September days. And then if they made the postseason, October would be perfect. I was in Seattle with the roof open when it was nice. It was perfect. Like, have you been to a game in a dome?
In a dome, sure. Yeah.
Baseball game.
Yeah. Astros games. Yeah.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Rays games. Yeah.
Oh, you've been there. Okay. Those are two places I haven't been. I've been to Arizona with the roof closed. I don't want it. I don't want that option only closed
Agreed.
all the time.
It's like Tampa. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it in
what's
Houston
that?
because, I mean, it's closed more often than open in Houston. So it's kind of, Minute Maid is kind of a dome, but they have the option of opening it. But the ball flies when the dome's closed.
Right.
It's fun. It's a bad idea. I mean, having a permanent dome here is a bad idea. The whole thing is turning into a bad idea. The whole thing, the A's, and now the mayor of Oakland's doing this like weird campaign where she's standing out in front of baseball games with a bullhorn and like saying, I'm vowing to stop the A's move. We're going to fight for the A's to stay here. And it just looks weird. Like it's not, she had all this time to get it done and she couldn't get it done. So it's like, great. So you're doing it to get reelected, but no, you're not doing anything to stop it from happening. The owner wants to leave. The owner can leave. But the more that it comes here, the more, this is what I was told at the UFC 290 event by someone close to the negotiations. They said, the A's are coming here, but that ballpark's not going at the center of the Tropicana.
Right.
So the retractable roof might happen.
Right.
It's just not happening at the site that they're claiming it was going to go.
No. That's the prevailing theme from people either in the know or close to it all.
Yeah, it's coming, but it's not going to be where they said it's going to be. You out on that? Everyone gets woken up with the Brigade Proxy story. How are you? Welcome in. You guys get 702-570-8255 to get an appointment in the month of August. It is going to be a very busy next week. This week is a little bit calm. If you're coming to town this week, or you're thinking about coming to town this week, might be a good time to come to town this weekend. Yep. This weekend might be a little bit calmer than next week and next weekend.
Yeah.
Because Bet Bash will be here from Tuesday to Friday.
Yep.
Busy for that stretch. Yep. That's so. Let's talk a little bit. Oh, well, it's Brigade Proxy on Twitter @BrigadeProxy@gmail.com is the email.
All of the above. 702-570-8255. There's the phone number.
Can Tua stay healthy? This is a monster question.
Perrault, I wish I knew the answer to that question.
So Tua gave an interview yesterday.
Yes, he did.
In which he said that basically everything he did this offseason was to have a long and successful career. Everything he did from a workout perspective, from a head perspective, he said he lifted heavier weights. Everything I did this offseason entailed to what would keep me on the field for the entirety of the season. We understand that freaky things can happen. It's football. It's a physical sport. Not everything you prepare for is what you can get, but I did my best I could get myself ready and prep for the season as far as injuries go.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at last year, it wasn't anyone hitting my head. It was really just the ground, he said. He's got a new helmet. He thinks it will protect him better when he hits the back of the head on the turf. No guarantee with any helmet, but maybe at some point the NFL has a helmet that could stop what that really scary scene that we saw when Tua got ripped to the ground, smacked his head on the cement on the field, and was really in trouble for a bit.
It was uncomfortable.
Very much so. One more hit like that, I think he's retired. That's the problem with that's the problem with the Dolphins. That's the problem with betting on the Dolphins. It's the problem with their win total. Tua's one hit from it all falling apart.
He should wear that bubble helmet thing that they keep,
like they do in practice, like now in camp. Yeah. Are you allowed to?
They need to maybe say you're allowed to for certain guys if you've had a concussion.
Baseball memes will roll.
Oh, I know. Like it will take away the logo and it will change the way it looks, and maybe it feels different.
You could put the logo on it though. You could spray paint the logo on.
They could.
You could do that.
There's a lot of things they could do. I want to see him play.
Right.
As a fan, as somebody who likes the Dolphins, I want to see them be successful, more successful than the Jets, because I'm on a mission completely to just enjoy New York sports up to the point where you don't, and then you can put them away. So we'll have enough Jets talk and whatever.
Right.
To have us covered. Miami's the team in that division that I think really provides a lot of mystery, maybe is the word I'm looking for, or a lot of upside, or if he goes bad. Somebody said it in the chat. Diablo 666 just said Dolphin season depends on Tua staying healthy.
Period.
There's nothing else.
I mean, look, losing Jalen Ramsey is not good.
That doesn't help.
That hurts. They're saying he's back in time for the opener, but he's out 6 weeks. Surgery on his knee. Those things can be tricky. Those can linger. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where Tua's in year 4. This is where he's supposed to go, like he's supposed to take off. Like the jet's supposed to be fueled. The pilot is experienced. You're supposed to go up there and lead your team into battle and go win big football games.
Especially after a year with the coach, too.
Right. Like year 2 of McDaniel. Right. It's year 2 of the new system.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a 40-year-old head coach, and it's time for him to take off. And I don't know. I mean, I just don't know how this goes. And I don't know where the team goes. If Tua gets another concussion I mean, do they pull him off? Do they bench him for the year? Like, what's their responsibility? I'll be very curious to see how, because there's some, people like Mike McDaniel. I like him, but I think there's some people in Miami who are getting a little bit worried that maybe he isn't the guy.
And all these people worrying about the coaches and the jobs and stuff, just reminds me how lucky as a Steeler guy. You just got a guy who just shows up, and the standard is the standard. He uses the same lines. He does new lines, and he just produces. It's hard to get a good coach and give a coach a chance.
Hold on. You've had 3 coaches in what?
My life.
Years? 60 years?
I'm 52.
You've seen 3
Chuck
coaches.
Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. That's 52.
It's insanity.
That's the only 3 coaches in my lifetime.
The Jets have had 3 coaches in the last 7 years, right? Right? Is the last 8 years?
Can't keep track.
I think it's 3 in the last 8 years for the Jets.
Oh, man.
So to give you an idea of the differences in the way these organizations get run.
Mike Stacks is in the chat. He said Ramsey's out until December.
I thought it was 6 weeks for the surgery.
I don't know. Again, guys, I rely on the chat for information.
Did they get a full, I mean, I don't know. I just saw
idea.
that he had the MCL surgery. So was it a complete tear of the MCL and that's what they had to repair?
Dr. Perrault, I am not sure. I don't know. I'm watching the baseball. I'm going to rely on you for the football stuff, as well as the Brigade. Subscribe, like the show, subscribe on the YouTube channel, come in the chat, and tell us this stuff. I'll use this all day. I'll be like, hey, there's a guy named Mike Stacks. I don't know him, but he came in our chat today and told us that.
Yeah, he is. Wow.
December.
That's right.
There you go.
December.
Thank you, Mikey Stacks.
Miami Dolphins. Yeah. It's a full meniscus. He had a full tear of the meniscus. It wasn't a cleanup. Initially, it was a cleanup. It's a full tear of the meniscus. Okay. So he had full MCL.
Man.
Wow. He's out until December. Whoo, boy. That is not good for a team that went 2-5 down the stretch last year. In the first 3 months, they've got Herbert, Allen, Mahomes, Rodgers, Jalen Hurts. They got a lot of number 1 wideouts they got to worry about. We'll do the Dolphins schedule later, but they start 3 of their 4 games this year. Oh my goodness. Who did the Dolphins piss off?
What?
The Dolphins play at the Chargers, at the Patriots, home for the Broncos, and at the Bills in the first 4 weeks.
Could be 0-4.
Whoa. How about that? They play the Patriots in week 2, which is how it always should be. You damn cheaters.
Relax.
Do you know what the Dolphins' record is in September at home? They have, because of the heat.
What are you talking about?
What?
What's the Dolphins' record in September?
At home, it's unbelievable. It's like a 700 win percentage.
It's hot down there.
Because they put the opposing team in road unis in the sun. They only have 1 home game in September.
Have you ever sat on the roadside in the sun?
In the South, I have. September? Yeah, it's awful.
It's torture.
In the South, I have. It's horrible. Yeah.
I sat there once.
Imagine playing with a helmet on.
Oh.
And full pads.
At the Meadowlands, the kickoff classic was Penn State USC.
Okay.
And for some reason, the Penn State side was that Sun side.
Okay.
And it was a midday kick. Mm-hmm. We were in the sun for 8 hours because we got it
in New Jersey.
It was hot as hell.
Not Florida, New Jersey, not Miami.
That's what I'm saying.
In New Jersey.
In Florida, it has to be 100 times because my brother, I thought was going to melt. Like he was, we had to keep going out under cover.
Wow.
To get breathe. The game lasted forever. We got in early and we sat there. The upper deck, it felt like we were sitting next to the sun.
Kind of were.
So yes. So home for Miami in September, they should be good.
They only have 1 home game in September. They have 3 road games. The NFL nipped that in the bud. Patriots play at Miami in week
December.
8. Week 8. No, not in December, but week 8.
Okay.
Still way better than week 2.
Right.
They play at the Patriots. They play in Foxborough week 2. That's huge. Patriots.
Miami will
generally
have
win
its
that game.
day on our 31 for 31 trek.
Yeah, we'll go through
whatever
all of
we're
it.
doing.
32 and
Yeah,
31 shows. 32 teams.
for 31 shows.
32,
Yeah.
30. Yes. We'll
Him staying healthy for the entire season. I mean, what would you let's do this. There's 17 games. Does Tua play 15 games in the NFL this season? Does Tua
No.
play 15 games for the Dolphins? Yes or no? In the chat, ready, set, go. Yes
No.
or no? You say no?
No.
I say no too. I feel
12.
bad. I want him to.
I would set the number at 12 and a half.
So if he only plays 12 out of 17 games, do they make the playoffs?
Nope.
If he
Nope.
does play 15 games, do they make the playoffs? Like if he gets knocked out of a game and misses the next week, but he plays the rest of the season, he plays 15 games, do they make the playoffs? It's close, right?
Close. It's very
It's
close.
hard.
They have the talent to do it. So the Ramsey injury would make me lean to the no, but I'm nowhere near as definitive.
Wow. Dave's Daily Picks said yes, and every person in the chat said no, 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 no.
I mean,
No, but
Tyreek
he'll be
Hill is
healthy.
unbelievable, but you need a guy to throw the ball
No.
to Tyreek Hill.
Oh.
You can't just
Right.
Receivers need a quarterback. So I don't care how good the wideout is, need a quarterback. And I'm not really jumping up and down about the fact that Mike White is the quarterback now for the Dolphins and backing him up. Skylar Thompson and James Blackman are the 4 quarterbacks. We saw Mike White with the Jets. We know what Mike White is. Mike White is not a starting quarterback in the NFL.
No.
So, just
We
gotta
got
keep
all
that-
no's except for Dave's Daily Picks and Andy O, which again, welcome to the show, Andy O. I haven't seen you in here before, but thank you for being
12
here.
and a half games with Tua, and they make the playoffs. Man alive. No, I don't see it. I just don't.
Hmm.
I just don't. That means
So who comes out of that division?
right now?
Right, just before we get to the teams and stuff, but is it Buffalo and the Jets?
No, just the Bills right now.
Oh,
That's it. But right now, it's one team in my mind.
wow.
Yeah.
One team out of the AFC East makes the playoffs?
Mm-hmm. That's right now.
Wow. Huh. That's a minority opinion, at least
Look.
for now. And then when people watch the show and prep for their own shows and they go, hey, there's only one team coming out of the AFC East.
Bills,
Just say you heard it on the BVB, please.
Bills,
Yep.
Bengals,
Yep.
Ravens, Broncos, Titans.
Hold
Sorry,
on.
bro.
one
Sorry,
second
sorry,
here.
Chiefs.
We're going to do this. Watch this. Watch this.
Again, another phone call on the show?
Alfonso, this is Dave. I'm on the BVB right now. Say hi to the audience, please.
Hello.
I'll call you after the show. We addressed it on the BVB, what's going on in Iowa and in Vegas and a lot of other things. I'm sure you and I will have a lot to talk about.
We'll have a lot to talk about. All right.
I'll call you later. Say hello to the BVB Brigade, please.
All right. Hey, folks.
There you go. That's Alfonso Stratton. I'll talk to you later, brother.
That's great. Second time in as many days that you've answered the phone. So back to what I was saying.
Figuring if I answer the phone when these
They
people
might learn.
call in that
Right.
time,
They might learn.
they'll go, you know what? Last time Dave actually was on the show and he answered
Right.
the phone.
Maybe we should
Alf, I
call them.
love you. I know you're
Right.
not watching right now, but
Right.
watch. the
So
replay.
look, I'm going Chargers, Chiefs.
Hold on. Start over. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go.
Fine. Chargers, Chiefs.
Start in the AFC East.
All right. Bills,
Okay. AFC
Bengals,
Central, AFC North, I mean.
Ravens,
Bengals and
Bengals.
Ravens.
Bengals and Ravens,
Okay. AFC
Jackson-
South.
Jaguars,
That's it.
Chiefs,
In the AFC West. Chiefs,
Chargers,
Chargers.
and then a wild card team either out of the North or the West, which could be your Steelers.
Fair. Fair. It's not the Browns, is it?
Could be. I mean, we'll see what Watson looks like,
no.
but it also could be, and people are going to freak out about this, but it also
Broncos?
could be the Raiders.
Stop.
I'm just saying, no one wants to buy into this, but if Garoppolo can play the way Garoppolo has played in the system before, and if Devontae Adams can go and put up a lot of can do Devontae Adams type stuff. They've got the weapons. They've got the offense to score on anybody. They can put up big numbers. If they go 3-3 in the division,
we're going to be going over a lot with the Raider games, I have a feeling.
Oh, 100%. That's an over. Yes, their defense is still not good.
That number's going to get adjusted quick. I mean, but they're going to have totals in the 50s on the regular.
Yeah, they've beaten the Chiefs in Arrowhead recently. They've had wars with the Chargers every single time they play each other. The Broncos, we'll see what the Broncos look like. They could go bad quick if they don't have everything together. If Russ performs poorly, they could come in last place in the division. And the Raiders could be 9-8, could be 10-7, somewhere in that range in that conversation. Same thing with the Steelers. They could be 9-8, 10-7, right there in the conversation. Now, that's also going to put potentially the AFC East teams also in the conversation. But as of right now, I'm not putting the Jets in the playoffs. I'm not putting the Patriots in the playoffs. But I wouldn't sleep on the Patriots either. Just telling people, no one wants to, you call me a homer all you want, but I would be careful sleeping on this Patriots team. This is exactly where they want to be. No one thinks they're going to do anything. They don't do well with hype.
Do you see what like our friends in the media that are the book conduits to the public? The Patriots season win total over is the most bet on season win total at 3 books.
Yuck. Yuck.
3 books, very prominent books that we know. People that we know keep putting it out every week. Most season win bet total over New England Patriots.
See, the problem with that is you're going to have to justify their schedule to me because their schedule is brutal.
Well, it's not Patriot Day, so
I know we'll go into it, but their schedule is, if they win their first 2, I'll listen. They beat Philly and Miami in week 1, week 2 at home. They win both those games, start 2-0. I'll listen. Just saying that the Patriots will fly over their win total, but I don't know. I don't know. Bet or book it.
Your face went like this when I said that. You're like, it's like I just, kicked you in the donkey, kicked you in the nuts.
I don't like that. I don't like the fact that that's true. That scares me beyond all belief. I'm like that.
Just reporting what I see.
I know. But I get the thought. I do. I get the methodology. I get the idea. The theory I think is sound. I don't like that it's sound, but I think it is sound that the Patriots aren't being talked about by the national media. So the gambling media is going to pay attention to it saying, hey, look, they get off to a fast start. Bill O'Brien. I mean, Juju's talking about it this morning. He said, look at you guys. I came here because I know what Bill O'Brien's going to do with this offense. Oh. So Gesicki might be phenomenal for the offense. He might put that tight end weapon back in there since they haven't had it since Gronk.
Yep.
So they'll have that weapon there. Juju's going to be a slot guy. Juju's happy because he's going to get the ball every damn down. If you're drafting, you want your little DFS or season-long advice, Smith-Schuster, over. Receiving, touchdowns, receptions, yards, over.
Perrault fantasy advice.
I'm just telling you, Smith-Schuster is going to be the guy for that offense.
Oh.
Devontae Parker is going to be on the outside. They're going to run the ball with Ramondre Stevenson, and they're going to go with play action to Smith-Schuster over the middle consistently. Wow. That's going to be their offense.
I love Gesicki.
Yeah, he'll be on the other side. But the Patriots are going to play they're going to play between the numbers again versus for years, Belichick played between the numbers until they got Randy Moss, and Patriot fans would be pissed off and go, stop everything between the numbers, get someone on the outside, throw a deep ball outside the numbers.
Worked.
Randy Moss.
That worked.
Well, but he was like browbeat into it by the fan base to go ahead and do it. And then he got Randy Moss, and then boom, they set the record 18-0, lost in the Super Bowl. But
boom.
So he would say that's why we lost in the Super Bowl. But
why?
Because they didn't have a smash mouth offense to match what the Giants were, a tougher football team, and they were. They're more physical. That season,
they were undefeated the whole season.
Yeah, because they outscored everybody, and then they pulled a Bruins. You have the best offense, and then when it comes time to actually do something, you choke in the playoffs.
Can't wait till we get to like the Patriots Day. And
that's gonna be fun. That's coming. First 5 over 4. Phillies Marlins. That game Did it already start?
Nope.
Okay, good. That's what I thought, because the other game was the Braves game that I cashed. I'm
Yes.
1-0 on the day. 3:40 Pacific time start. Night game tonight. First 4 over. I keep on
Wheeler
warning.
and Garrett, you like over?
Yeah. First 4. First
booking
5.
this one.
Over 4.
Yeah, I like under. I like
You
under
like-
for the game, so I like under for the first 5.
Garrett's ERA at home is 5.4.
This is the problem. They may it. The Phillies may do it themselves.
Yep.
I don't think. I watched Wheeler's last start and the start before that.
Mhm.
He was magical against the Pirates. I mean, whoo, swing and miss stuff. I think he had 11 or 12 Ks. I think that carries over. I like the Phillies today, but I like under.
Wheeler on the road has a 3.48 ERA, 6-3, opposing batting average of 248, 25 earned in 64 innings worth of work. Over 4, you may get a push out of it. First 5, the Reds and Cubs scored 29 runs last night. First 5 over, -120. I got this last night. I doubt this number is still where it is, but it might be. Betting in a book over 5.
First 5 Cubs.
And the Reds.
There's now 6 at the majority of books that you shop at. There's
Okay.
2 5.5s left. They are both in Vegas.
At
I
Drew
like
Smiley. Drew Smiley is 5.94 ERA at home
Yeah.
with an opposing batting average of 266, given 33 earned runs and 9 home runs and 50 innings worth of work.
Yes.
He's going up against Brandon Williamson, who equally is not good on the road. 4.56 ERA, a 277 opposing batting average with 13 earned runs and 25 2/3 worth of work for him. He has been decent in July, but his last road start before, he's been okay on the road. He's been against the Dodgers, 6-5 win, give up 2 earned runs and 5 2/3.
Over.
Betting it.
Yep.
And then finally, we're going with the Red Sox and the Mariners. I'm going to try to squeeze out an under 4.5 here for Gilbert, who has been pretty good, but not as good as I would have liked him to be. But it's got to do with the Red Sox having a chance to get a good starting pitcher tonight on the mound who has a good road ERA. Another great home ERA, but Cutter Crawford road ERA for him is 2.36 with a 2 opposing batting average. He's not good at Fenway. He's great outside of Fenway. Under 4.5. Red Sox offense stinks on the road.
Have you seen this kid that's the leadoff guy that's running like a rabbit? I can't remember. his
Jared
name.
Duran.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's the Red Sox version of De La Cruz.
Talk
can
about
fly.
fun. Oh my God, is he fun to watch?
Yeah.
Like I watched
I mean,
a lot of that game last night.
This
while it
is his
was-
3rd year coming up. He's been with the Red Sox. The Red Sox have been waiting for the game to mature. They brought him up because he's the fastest guy on the field every night. Like he can
He
fly.
runs hard everywhere he goes.
Right. So that's why. So they brought him up for that reason. He's fast in left field too. But now the game is coming around. His hitting gets him on base. He wasn't getting on base. He was batting like 210 when they're bringing him up.
Right.
So now the hitting finally, the glove has been there, the arm's been there, the speed's there, but the hitting wasn't mature enough. Now he's hitting. Now the eye has been trained. Now he's maturing into a player they can count on night in and night out. He causes problems. I mean, he scored. We talked about it on Sports Grid, but he stole second. The ball went into center field, got up, went to third. The throw went over the third baseman. He scored on a stolen base, basically. Literally
There
play.
should have been circus music being played while that
Yes.
was going on. I've had those situations happen while I'm coaching, and you're just like, oh no, this is bad.
What are we doing?
You want to shake that kid that's running, but he's great. I like this as well. I say bet this one.
Good.
I can't quit Gilbert. If I got a side, I think it's Seattle, but Boston not going nowhere, man.
Big win last night. You were right. 6-4 win for the Red Sox last night. They got that. If you guys are watching on Sports Grid, we appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are watching on YouTube and or on Twitter, time for bonus time. Favorite thing about today is what?
The Stinger scared the shit out of me. That's
Just
not that one.
Oh, the other one, right?
The
Yeah,
other
that was the
one,
point.
that
Right.
that
On purpose.
one is
That was on purpose, though.
literally
On purpose.
jump scare. It was great. Literally. No. The favorite thing about today in doing the show is that like my phone has been lighting up all day. All right. I did the show with Eric from US Bets this morning, and we
Okay.
talked briefly about everything that's going on. I couldn't wait to talk to you about it. You obviously put it at the top of the show to talk about what's happening. We're lucky we're in the space. I treasure that every day. We've put in the work to do the show and continue to do that.
Mhm.
But to have an open forum and opportunity to talk about what's going on, and it's day one. The stories just came out. I haven't read and done a deep dive on anything, but I have. You guys heard Alfonso call me. That was awesome. I guarantee he's got something to ask. I just got a text from Rybaltowski. He wants to talk about something right after this. Got a call from another guy in New Jersey who might know some people in the legal realm of all this that wants to talk. We're bringing all of this stuff up, I think, with good intentions. But you can't be surprised that any of it's happening because it's been happening. So my favorite thing about today is that I feel like at least us, like you said it before the show started, I can't wait to see who's talking about this and who's not. We can talk about pretty much anything on this show. And that's my favorite thing about today. It's not just a gambling show.
Right.
But when it is a gambling show, it's pretty fucking fun. And it's pretty informative. And it's pretty entertaining. And it has some fucking value.
Well, it was funny because like I was talking to other people in other places last night about this, and it reminded me that to people on the East Coast who don't follow everything either in the space or everything in sports, like this is an isolated Iowa topic. This is one of those like I don't want to bug with this. Like this is not a big topic to people on the East Coast because it's happening in Iowa. If it was happening at Rutgers, it would stop the world. But because it's happening in Iowa, it's not getting talked about nearly as much. And I just laugh about it because I'm like, this is why I've worked where I've worked, because this is what I love about my experiences and the people. I can call people right now who are investigating this story in Iowa, who are neck deep in the investigation, and that they will tell me things that are going on. We have Brommelkamp, who works in Iowa, who couldn't come on the show today because he was busy. But people
hopefully
like that
he can come on tomorrow. I think it would be worth having him on for the
I agree.
discussion as it develops.
Because it's it's a localized story, obviously for Iowa State that's being covered and seen differently than nationally, or us talking about it from a gambling perspective as to how it's going on. There's a lot of pissed off Iowa fans and Iowa State fans. A lot of pissed off Iowa State fans who think their football season's over because their starting quarterback's gone. I mean, they were going to have a rough year anyway. And now they got to go replace the kid who started every game last year in 2022. He's out. He's off the team. Not even hurt. He's gone. He's just see ya to try to protect his freedom. They want to put him in jail. So that's the fun of this show. That's what I love about your experiences and my experiences, because I've lived in Iowa. You know what's going on in the investigative side of things. You see the story as it's unfolding and going, well, maybe it's not all what we think it is. Maybe it's a little more. Pull back that onion a little bit, pull that layer down, and you might find something else besides what's being reported.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to be said. We won't have to say it today, but we say it every day.
It's coming.
People ask all the time, what do you guys do on that show? Matt and I talk about a lot of things. You should watch it. We do the same fucking show every day in that it's 110% every day. Like we're not just talking out of our ass. We're not just making stuff up. We're looking at lines. We're talking to people in the space. We're both working our asses off. We're raising daughters. We're doing a bunch of things, trying to stay out of the rain and everything else that's going on. I didn't even mention that last night. It was the third coming of the end of the world last night.
Biblical. That's all people saying, how was it? It was biblical. The amount of rain that we saw in a very short period of time.
Jessica pulled over on the 95 coming home from work because nobody could see. Traffic stopped on the freeway because the sheets of rain and hail and everything else that happened. She was shook. She came home. I was on the air. She sent me a text. That was the scariest drive home ever.
Whoa.
And I was like, wow. And then went down after the show and it let her talk for 10 minutes because it took 10 minutes to let her get it out. It was scary yesterday. We got all that stuff going on. We can't thank this group of people that continue to show up here. I just looked down and saw some $5 and a $10 and different things popping in on this super chat. Big Business dropped a 10 spot.
Hey,
Crunchy Beaver, welcome again with a 5 spot. I'll say Crunchy Beaver every day if this dude drops a fin. Seriously.
Crunchy Beaver made the YouTube shorts last night.
Did he?
Yeah, that's our clip. Was Crunchy Beaver.
I didn't see the clip yet.
Oh yeah, go look at our YouTube channel. You can see our short on that. We'll end you guys with this. The Big Ten have begun more expansion conversations because the Pac-12 is shaky. Oregon and Washington are the focus. Told you, Oregon and Washington are the prize. You may be getting more West Coast teams. You may have 4 West Coast Big Ten teams.
Oh,
it's really weird. We have 16 teams in the Big Ten. It's going to be a stupid name. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. It's really stupid to call it the Big Ten when there's
What do you change it to?
I don't know, but it's stupid to say the Big Ten when there's 16 teams. And then Mark Richmond just sent me a tweet that is actually our X, whatever the hell they're calling it. Fucking Elon. That the Giolito trade, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Giolito's now pitched 3 2/3 innings, 9 earned runs. He's given up 3 walks, 2 Ks, 3 home runs given up since the trade. They're in trouble. Angels aren't making the playoffs. That was supposed to be their stud.
Our man Joe C. Myers is going to be down in Texas keeping track of that. Thank you, Joe C, for putting that in the tweet.
0-2 start.
Right? Not good.
And now 0-3 for today. 0-3.
Yeah, it's final 12-5. Lost again.
So 8 games back is what they're going to be, is my prediction, out of a playoff spot coming up. Guys,
we'll clip that and post that everywhere if you're right about that.
Guys, appreciate you being here. We're back tomorrow for a Thursday's BVB. The countdown to school has begun. We are 4 or 5 days away from school. Sorry, kids. You're going back to school
tomorrow.